Welcome to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. And folks, happy Friday. Welcome back. Welcome to the show. Let's just say a quick hello. I see Zelda, our friend Zelda here. I hope you're feeling better. She apparently took a tumble, and we're hoping your legs are recovering well. We've got Meredith Powell in the heezy. Valerie G, the Trump Reaper. Diane London is here. Veronica Tello, Melissa McQueen, Carol Glynn, Lori B. What up, Lori B? Bernadette. Everybody's here. The gang's all here. Nice to see you guys. So we have a fun show today, and you might notice that Brooklyn Dad is not wearing his glasses today because I went to the eye doctor. My eyes are fine. It's just the contacts that I have. Um, I can't read my phone, like this. I have to hold it, like all the way back because that's what old age, that's what aging does to you. It just deteriorates your eyesight. So I went to the eye doctor and had a new, I guess, adjustment for some contacts, and I'm test driving these puppies now. So now I can see my phone like a normal human being, and I can see where I'm going when I drive. So best of both worlds. This is awesome. Awesome. I'm so happy with it. Also, today is a special day. It is my son's 18th birthday. So I have a hard cut at 6:30, and then I know the timing has nothing to do with you guys. I have to try to rein myself in, not digress too much, because I like to digress. So yeah, I'm going to try to keep this show on track, so we can get on the good foot and celebrate my son's birthday and have some cake and all that good stuff. So let's do a quick recap of what I like to call stories of the day.
Stories of the day.
Stories of the day. Okay, so today's main topic is Taylor Swift, MAGA's worst nightmare, Democrats' secret weapon. The jobs report today threw everybody for a loop. Folks were expecting half of what we ended up with, and they were even shouting about it on Fox News. President Biden apparently has some spicy words about his opponent, his likely opponent for the general election. These words have only heard behind closed doors, and I'm guessing you can guess what they are. And last but not least, Taylor Swift and the Kansas City Chiefs are on their way to the Super Bowl. Why does this young lady strike fear in the hearts of MAGA Nation? Why does she offer Democrats so much hope? We will cover that and more. But first, I almost forgot. If there's time, mind you, I'm sticking to that 6:30 cutoff. If there's time, we might do a little throwback to that old segment I used to call "You Raggedy Bish."
You raggedy bish.
Only if there's time. Those of you who are accustomed to the old show, you know what I'm talking about. But first, make sure, if this is your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that when I throw up some new content, you make sure that you don't miss it. And oh my goodness, Zelda, you are too much. You are too kind. Love you so much. Thank you. Thank you for the kind donation. And also make sure you hit that like button. Hit the like button because it helps the channel. All right. So We have an interesting show for today. Some good news and some bad news. I think the last time we were here, I was talking about my hopes for the Super Bowl matchup, right? And let's revisit that. So what we're ending up with this year, you might think if you were watching too much cable news, you would think that the Super Bowl is between MAGA and Taylor Swift. It is not, however. It is also not featuring my poor Detroit Lions. So sad. So close, yet oh so far. This was a fantastic team. If you are from Detroit or if you're a Detroit fan, yeah, you have my sympathies because I was rooting for them 100%. But what a hell of a team! They're not going anywhere anytime soon. They'll be back next year in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure. But no, this year's Super Bowl is between the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. If you are a liberal or a Democrat, the outcome of this Super Bowl really shouldn't matter that much to you. I mean, I guess if you are a Kansas City fan or a San Francisco fan, it matters. You want your team to win. But if you're only watching, just because it's like it's a big event, it is a big event. It is a thing. It's a cultural phenomenon. People who watch this show aren't necessarily just football fans. They are people who like the commercials, people who like the I don't even know who the halftime event is. Guys, if you know who the halftime performer is, please throw that up in the chat, please. Excuse me. Um if you and if you're a gambler, sorry to say, if you're a gambler, you're probably also very interested in the outcome of this game too. It's Usher. Holy shit. Oh, it's gonna be lit. Uh, 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 Okay. Let's see. That damn Karen is here, and Pam Ham, Annie, Carol Glynn, Carol Carson, Lucy L, Michelle. Okay. So anyway, it'll matter to you. But for MAGA, for fans of Donald Trump, uh, they're not too happy about either of these teams. Why? Because on the one hand, you got Taylor Swift, who what was her big crime? Taylor Swift, all she did was she told her millions of followers to register to vote. No big. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. She did ultimately end up endorsing President then just citizen Joe Biden in the 2020 election. And prior to that, she was like, yeah, she couldn't. I think she said something about the lady with the crazy hair from Tennessee, Senator. I can't remember her name. Marsha Blackburn, something like that. My memory's going. Uh, and also her boyfriend, Travis Kelsey, he committed the crime of getting vaccinated and then sharing about it. There's these folks are still on about the vaccine. The conspiracy theories are flying left and right. So they're not crazy about that couple. And then San Francisco, that's Nancy Pelosi's home, and it's the home of, it's like the most liberal city in the country. So they're not too happy about either team being in the big show, the big game. Me personally, if I have to put my plant my flag in the ground, I want Kansas City to win. That's it. That's it. Not so much because it triggers MAGA, but mainly because of that. But also because Patrick Mahomes, the kid is amazing. I'm saying he's a kid, he's a man, but to me, he's a kid. He's young, and he's achieved so much in such a relatively short period of time. So, yeah, mostly let's go, buddy. Let's go. Let's do this. This Sunday, if you guys have not yet seen the show Curb Your Enthusiasm, you do have time to catch up to where we are right now. It's season 12 is starting on Sunday. It is the final season of the show. I gotta. You guys know I recommend TV shows and movies. I gotta highly recommend this show. Highly recommend. It is funny as hell. It is one of my all-time favorite comedies. I've probably watched every season about 6 or 7 times, and that's not an exaggeration. Easily watched all of them over and over. They're eminently rewatchable. Hilarious. Obviously, starring Larry David as himself, and as himself, he is kind of similar to George Costanza. He's often joked that when he wrote uh, when he wrote the character George Costanza, he was thinking about himself. You know, a lot of the things that happened to George happened to him in real life. I find that hard to believe, but um, it is a fantastic show. And yes, Veronica Tello, apparently Larry David choked Elmo, or I guess he choked somebody's wrist. I'm sure he did that as part of a publicity stunt for the show, but nonetheless, yeah, he did trigger some people. It has a fantastic cast. My favorite cast member, aside from Larry David, is JB Smoove. He's a character who appeared in, I want to say, either the fifth or the sixth season as a relative of a family who was in a hurricane and they were unhoused as a result. And Larry and his wife, Cheryl, you may recognize as the wife of RFK Jr. It's a goddamn shame. I wonder if they're going to address that in this season. But yeah, JB Smoove is hilarious. But all of the cast members, Susie Essman, that's the brunette in the picture there. She's hilarious. Like the first time I heard her uh, uncork one of her legendary tirades, F-bomb filled tirades at Larry David, I lost my shit. She is hilarious. Great show. I think one of my favorite episodes is this one here when Larry David discovered that the MAGA hat can be used as a people repellent. All he really wants is just to be left alone, and that hat worked like a charm. So definitely check out the show as soon as you can, if you can. And today, sad news: we lost an acting legend. Carl Weathers passed away at the age of 76. I was shocked to hear that because 76 is young, you know, and I think my mom was younger than 76 when she passed away, and my dad was just over 76. It's kind of scary when you think about it. When anytime you see people die, I don't know about you, but me, when I see people die that you grew up watching on TV or in the movies, it it really like pokes that your own sense of mortality. It's like, holy shit. Like Matthew Perry, for instance, he was 56. I'm going to be 56 in a few months. Anyway, Carl Weathers was a terrific actor. Most of you may recognize him in his incredible performance as Apollo Creed, who was the foil for Rocky Balboa, Sylvester Stallone's Rocky Balboa in the Rocky movies. Um, but he was very versatile. He did drama. He did action. He was Action Jackson. He was in the first Predator movie, um, and he also starred. He starred opposite Adam Sandler in the golf movie Happy Gilmore, and he played Happy's golf coach. And he was also, come to think of it, he played himself excuse me, he played himself in my other favorite comedy. It was Arrested Development, and he was like an acting coach, but like he played himself as a guy who was always looking for, the five-finger discount, looking for like discounts and cheap bargains and a way to, you know, uh get over the system. And Burger King dude was really, really, really funny. So sorry to see him go. Yeah. Rest in power, Carl Weathers. Um, I guess I don't have really a segue for that. So I'm gonna fast forward to what happened this morning. This morning, we heard the jobs report for January, and it raised a lot of eyebrows. It popped a lot of eyeballs. Um, the United States economy added 353,000 jobs in the month of January, which is astounding, especially considering that we were only expected to add 185,000 jobs. So that is a tremendous number. The unemployment rate ticked down to 3.7%, and wages increased to 4.5%. So wages are increasing faster than inflation. And the inflation rate is going down. So eventually we'll catch up, I suppose. The chart there on the screen on the left shows the disparity of job creation between Republican presidents and Democratic presidents. And you can see that Democratic presidents have the edge, a three-time edge over Republicans. Democrats create jobs, Republicans create chaos. And so, yes, that was very nice to see. And man, the talking heads over at Fox News, whew, boy, I mean, when you see them use terms like too good and amazing and wow, it's something. It is absolutely something. Let's see. Hang on. I'm going to share this with you guys in a second here. Boom. Here we go. Oh. Let's see. Which one is it? I think it's this one. Yeah.
I mean, that job number today was mind blowing, actually.
Mind blowing.
I mean, that jobs number today was mind blowing, actually. No one expected the jobs number coming at 350,000 jobs, unemployment 3.7%, wages up year over year 4.4%. I've been calling this for a long time, but this is Goldilocks. This is as good as it gets. And we already know inflation's coming down, which means purchasing power is going to go up this year. Consumers are going to have money to spend because we have a tight labor market that's not going away. That's going to drive the U.S. economy. First quarter GDP growth is already estimated to be at like 4%. Man, oh man, the news is just too good.
Too good, man. Oh, man.
Too good indeed. I don't know why it's so thrilling to see that. I guess it's because it's on Fox News, and I'm so accustomed just to seeing Fox News bash President Biden and bash Bidenomics. But the success of Bidenomics cannot be denied. And in fact, I remember when I first heard the term Bidenomics, and I was like, that's a bold choice. that's bold. And I say it's bold because that could backfire on you. Clearly, you are making a humongous bet that come election time that this economy will still be rolling along, and you're branding the economy with your own name. So I guess the philosophy or the thought was they're going to brand the economy with my name no matter what. I might as well own it, and own it he has. And this economy is going gangbusters. The stock market is up. It's 38,000. In fact, I think it ticked down a bit when the stock market heard of this great job thing. And I will never understand it. I'm not trying to understand economics, but I understand that the market wants people to lose jobs. Apparently, they want people to lose jobs, and the interest rates won't go down until the unemployment rate goes up. And that's sad, because that means, unless workers are experiencing pain, that interest rate is going to stay up where it is. So that kind of sucks. It is what it is. But President Biden, I don't know if I covered this already, but he did notch a huge endorsement from the United Auto Workers. And yesterday, I think it was yesterday, Donald Trump was yesterday or the day before, Donald Trump was supposed to have met with the head of the Teamsters to see if he can notch their endorsement. Now, Donald Trump has been historically bad for unions, and President Biden is the most pro-union president in a very long time. So I don't see how the Teamsters could even entertain Donald Trump, even give him the time of day. What do you expect? What is he going to say? He's not going to be for real with you. He's not going to tell you that he's a union buster. He's not going to share the fact with you that when President Biden was standing on a picket line with actual union workers, that he was at a non-union camp meeting with the bosses. He's not going to say that. He's going to say whatever he thinks it is the Teamsters want to hear. So hopefully they have better sense, and they go with the winning hand of President Biden. I think they're maybe just trying to hedge their bets, perhaps. Mañana, tomorrow. This came as a surprise to me. I don't know why. I thought I was more plugged in. Apparently not. Tomorrow is the Democratic primary for South Kakalaki, also known as South Carolina, the Democratic primary. So I will say this: whoever you know in South Carolina, make sure you remind them to go vote for President Biden. Do not let them think it's in the bag and we need an overwhelming win, because right now we have two jackasses who are also on the ballot in the primary. And we don't want to give anybody any, false notion of hope, right? Those other two candidates, they're not winning anything. I guarantee you, they are not going to be the nominees of the Democratic Party. If President Biden, God forbid, knock on wood, if President Biden were to drop out of the race tomorrow, neither of these candidates would have a snowball's chance in hell of getting the nomination. I'll put money on that. I guarantee you, nobody is voting for either of those two people. However, that said, we need to see an overwhelming show of support like they showed in New Hampshire for President Biden for that primary. So make sure you tell your friends, make sure tomorrow morning, get on the Twitter, get on the Facebook, get on the TikTok, get on whatever it is, the social media platform that you are using, that you are grooving with, and remind everybody to get their asses out there and vote. Yes, Bernadette is pointing out that these two idiots are just spoilers. Indeed. Thank you. Trump Reaper says she knows Marianne Wilson, but dude in the middle is a mystery. He is a mystery. He's a mystery. He's the guy nobody asked for, nobody wanted. There he is. Okay. Excuse me. Where's RFK? Veronica Teller wants to know. I don't know. Maybe he fucked off. Yeah. All right. Okay. So many people are saying President Biden had some things to say that weren't so nice about Donald Trump. That puts him in great company because I would say pretty much everybody has some unkind things to say about Donald Trump. And that includes people who were in Donald Trump's cabinet who called him an absolute, what was it, a fucking moron? I think it was fucking moron, was what Rex Tillerson said. Rex Tillerson was his Secretary of State. Everybody has unloaded, and rightfully so, unloaded on Donald Trump. I mean, there's not enough bad things you can say. But Joe Biden, I like Dark Brandon, by the way. I like him when he's spicy, when he's mad. I like that shit. Anyway, President Biden apparently is behind closed doors calling Donald Trump a sick fuck. Yes. And is also calling him a fucking asshole. I want audio. I want audio of this. We've heard plenty of people say those things. We talk about that all the time. Hey, philosophy. Glad to have you here, my friend, and thank you for this kind donation. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate it. Yeah, plenty of people are saying bad things about Donald Trump. Look at his opponent in the Republican Party, Nikki Haley, of all people, breaks out the meme calling him the quote unquote weakest general election candidate ever. And this this Halloween costume says includes 50 million in legal fees. You guys know that he has spent $50 million in legal fees. That's an insane amount of money. And what did he get for his expenditure? He lost a case. He lost a judgment against E. Jean Carroll for $83 million, 83.3, excuse me. And, there's more to come. What else? Social media rants, temper tantrums, not included, private jet, something. Oh, it's private jet Diet Coke. So that's some spicy shit coming from Nikki Haley, who finally decided to show some kind of fight. By the way, I still despise Nikki Haley. I despise her. Earlier this week, she had some words to say about President Obama, which I didn't appreciate. She was on a radio show. I think it was Charlemagne the God, and he asked her why it was that she could not abide by a President Kamala Harris administration. Why she couldn't deal with it. And the first things out of this woman's mouth were, well, when Barack Obama was elected, I'm like, here she goes. When Barack Obama was, so what happened when Barack Obama was elected? Oh, he made people uncomfortable and he put people in camps. No, the fuck he didn't. He didn't put anybody in camps. Come to think of it, I was dissatisfied with what I thought was not enough acknowledgement of the Black community. A lot of us in the Black community felt like, come on, brother, what's up? It wasn't until Trayvon Martin was killed that he did finally step up and say something about that and said, he could have been my son. Where's the lie? How is he putting anyone in a camp? He's just saying, I'm a Black man. If I had a son, it could have been he could have looked like Trayvon Martin and he could have been killed. That's all he said. He didn't say, kill Whitey. He didn't say anything like that. His own mother is white, for crying out loud. So Nikki Haley, that's some bullshit. That is some absolute bullshit. And I'm sick and tired of people wanting us to tiptoe around the feelings of these fucking racists. Straight up. The you know, the white supremacists, and we're supposed to consider their feelings, and if we call them out for their racism, we're being divisive. No. No. That's like seeing an oppressed person, suck their teeth at the oppressor, and calling the oppressed person, oh, you're a divider, you're divisive. Shut the fuck up. Gaslighting, exactly, Melissa McQueen. Thank you for that. So before I forget, because I frequently do, please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Please subscribe to the show. And let's keep this thing rolling right along. As I mentioned earlier, E. Jean Carroll won a humongous settlement from Donald Trump, $83.3 million. That's huge. That is huge. And if he's not careful, that jackass is going to end up having to shell out a whole lot more to her. I think he's finally figured out how to shut up. He could have just left it at $5 million. $5 million was the original amount that he owed E. Jean Carroll, but he couldn't shut the fuck up. He couldn't shut up. So congratulations to E. Jean Carroll. She is officially hardcore, and she's my hero. She's my hero. Say what you will about her. She's quirky or whatever. She has every right to be as quirky as the hell she wants to be. She endured some bullshit at the tiny hands of Donald Trump, and I'm glad she got some. She delivered some comeuppance to that jackass, that rapist. But now Donald Trump is looking at yet another massive fine. It could go as high as $370 million. That is the amount the district attorney has asked for. And apparently, so we were supposed to find out yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? It feels like just yesterday. Anyway, let's say yesterday. We were supposed to find out how much the settlement was going to be. But Judge Engoron put it off. And then we found out it was the day before. Thank you, Veronica Tello. Then we found out the reason why this decision is being put off is because apparently Alan Weisselberg, who is Donald Trump's former CFO, is now pleading guilty. He's working out a deal for a guilty plea to perjury. So why does that matter? Well, because it could now, whatever amount Judge Engoron was going to charge Donald Trump could be even more. I like that shit. I love it so much. I love it. So I can wait. But yeah, that's a great question, Punxsutawney Mo. What is all the delays on these cases? It's kind of driving me bonkers. It's driving me bonkers because the clock is kind of ticking, and it matters because recently people were polled in swing states. In 7 swing states, I believe it was, 56% of people asked said that they could not support Donald Trump if he is convicted of a crime. And that does include 20... don't remember. I feel like it was 26, 23, 26, 28, something around there. 20 something percent of Republicans said they could not support Donald Trump. Now you might think, 26% of Republicans, that's not a big number because Republicans they're only around 28% of the voting population. But if this ends up being a close election, which I really hope it's not, I hope it's a blowout against Trump. I hope he loses badly, bigly. I hope he is the bigliest loser of all time. But if it's close, 28% of Republicans who opt to not vote, or maybe they decide to vote for President Biden, which would be tremendous. It would be a tremendous thing. That'd be a big deal, very big deal. So in the matchup between President Biden and Donald Trump, there are many variables to consider that could swing the election one way or the other. There are the 4 different, is it 4 now? I feel like it's 4 cases. It's Alvin Bragg one. It's the Fani Willis. Oh my God, don't even get me started on the Fani Willis case where she's being accused of improper hiring, or like hiring her boyfriend or her lover or whatever, and he was married apparently. Get me started on that. I think that's some bullshit. Frankly, you don't see them doing that to male district attorneys, just a woman. Thank you, Veronica Tello. Jack Smith has 2 cases. He's got one with Eileen Cannon, who was a loose cannon in South Florida. And there's the DC case with the classified documents. Shit, there's a heap of, we got a follower of Jesus saying, BDD, what up, brother? Hello, my friend. What up to you too? Let's see. Sorry, Punxsutawney Mo says, unless I miss it coming in late, the big news on everybody's lips, chapped lips, no shadow, early spring. I don't believe it. Well, actually, who knows? It could. It's chilly where I am right now, but yeah, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. Chutkin has postponed the trial. Yeah. It's very frustrating because, as I said, this could determine how people decide to vote, whether or not Donald Trump is convicted. And if none of these trials get off track, we're just going to have to make sure we turn out in superior numbers. I mean, look, the last time we defeated him, we beat him by 7 million votes, and he didn't even have any indictments against him. So we should be able to do this shit all over again. Another factor to consider is that MAGA Nation keeps messing with Taylor Swift. They are poking that bear. Bad idea, MAGA Nation, because, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is Taylor Swift has millions of loyal, devoted fans who love her. They love her. And, well, what's the big deal? It's just 13 and 14-year-olds. You going to just forget about all those 17-year-olds who are turning 18 this year? Even if that's only, let's say she's got 50 million fans and 2 million of them are turning 18. Hello? And if they are really motivated, do you guys remember? Hang on. Do you guys remember what happened in 2020 when a bunch of teenagers got on TikTok and they completely jacked the Tulsa rally for Donald Trump? They got all these tickets and they ensured that the attendance was crazy low for that. Don't sleep on these kids, man. I'm telling you, these kids are fierce and they are plugged in. They are paying attention. And I don't think MAGA is as popular as MAGA thinks it is. They're discriminating against everybody. They're taking away women's rights. And these 17, soon to be 18-year-old young women they're not going to be fond of being treated as a second-class citizen. So keep your eye out on that. And currently, President Biden is leading Donald Trump. I believe this is the Quinnipiac poll. Yes, it's the Quinnipiac poll. He's beating Donald Trump by 6 points, 50 to 44. So that is a not insignificant number. Pay attention. And yeah, I know it's early, but if we're going to consume all of these poll numbers and listen to for months and months and months, they were talking about how President Biden's poll numbers were, his approval was low, et cetera, and we hear all the belly aching about that. When you better be damn sure that when I hear some good news, I'm going to share it, and I'm going to share it often. Okay, so that's the deal. I know that polls are not necessarily reliable, but all things being equal, yeah, you're going to hit me upside the head constantly with the bad polls. I'm going to hit you back upside the head with the good polls. Thank you very much. And here's another crazy thing. So the Senate is in negotiation over a border deal, a deal to increase border security that, a lot of Republican senators are really excited about. They don't get excited about anything, but they were excited about this. They were excited mainly because Democrats were like, man. Democrats are lukewarm to not liking the deal at all. So, if Democrats don't like it, Republicans love it. And you have some Republican senators saying this is the best deal we're ever going to get. This is the deal. We got to take this deal. This is what they're saying. And the House, meanwhile, is like, I don't want to. So this meme encapsulates the situation perfectly. They've been crying about the border nonstop for months and months and months. Finally, we have people in negotiation, people from the Biden administration working with the Senate, working with Republicans and Democrats on a border deal. Alexander Mayorkas, the guy who they're trying to impeach. Republicans, we must do something about border security. Biden, okay, let's do something. Republicans, well, now I'm not doing it. And they're not doing it because Donald Trump said not to, because he wants to run on chaos. He wants to run on the complaints. So your house is on fire. It's ablaze. And a fire truck comes along. Hey, we're going to put the fire out in your house. Wait a minute. You guys are Democrats, aren't you? Well, yeah, but your house is on fire. No. You Democrats, keep it moving. We're going to wait for the Donald Trump fire truck to put that fire out. By Jove. And by the time Donald Trump fire truck shows up, that house is already burnt down. It's a bad idea. And I hope that this backfires on them. Why are you even listening to Donald Trump? Donald Trump cannot even form coherent sentences anymore. He can't. Why are you even listening to him? He's a rapist, for crying out loud. And the Republican Party is so desperate. They are so desperate to create some kind of false narrative. Here's a social media post put up by I think it's a tweet by Patrick Ruffini, who is he's a Republican political strategist. Says Republican victory in 2024 depends on their being able to do this. And the message is they're supposed to be able to register Black voters, turn out the Black vote, right? So why then does this gentleman have 3 arms? Count them. There's one by the clipboard. There's one, there's one right by his belly, and there's a third one um, next to his leg. It's ridiculous. It's AI, so they couldn't even get an actual picture. They couldn't even get a real picture of a black person registering another black person as a Republican. That is sick. That is desperate. That's desperate. So, let's see, like and subscribe. Oh, okay. So, folks, make sure you hit the subscribe button and don't forget to like this broadcast. And I'm working my ass off for y'all. And now, without further ado, I believe it is time. I did save enough time for my favorite segment called
You raggedy bitch.
And today's You Raggedy Bish is was frequent person in this category is none other than Marjorie Taylor Greene. No, I'm sure you guys thought it was going to be Lauren Boebert, because Lauren Boebert recently wasn't she she had a there was a straw poll taken in Colorado. She just moved from the 3rd district to the 4th district. Think it was going to be a lot easier on her. Um, Turned out it wasn't. She polled 5th in her new district. Oh, no, but Marjorie Taylor Greene is I guess you could call her a crisis actor, right? Um, she is constantly trying to strum up some false outrage on stuff, and she just, the saying, there's a saying, it's better to say nothing and be thought of a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. So I've got a video, that I myself created, which is a greatest hits of Marjorie Taylor Greene, including uh, a hearing from earlier this week in which she mispronounces indictable, the word indictable, and she fails to read a number that's 7 digits. It's in the millions. So, without further ado, let me just hit the share button. There it is.
This historical evidence is overwhelming that the founding fathers intended impeachment to be used to deal with the commission of indictable crimes and the abuse. February 2017 to January 2021, 2,437,856.
Not only do we have the DC jail, which is the DC gulag, but now we have Nancy Pelosi's gazpacho police.
Are you stupid or something?
Wants to provide surveillance on every part of your life. They want to know when you're eating. They want to know if you're eating a cheeseburger, which is very bad because Bill Gates wants you to eat his fake meat that grows in a Peachtree dish.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Indeed. May God have mercy on your soul. Um, boy. I mean, to not be able to read that 2 million number, goodness gracious. I mean, how could you even? Sometimes I feel like it's an intentional ploy. Like she's intentionally making herself look like a moron. But I mean, I remember people saying that about Donald Trump. What is endearing about it? I don't get it. And I mean, okay, if I were to unscrew my brain in some reality, pronouncing things correctly, knowing how to read numbers, I guess that's considered elite now. Sorry. There's no reality in which being illiterate or being dumb is a virtuous thing. We want our kids to be educated. We do. I mean, my parents wanted that for me, and my grandparents wanted that for my parents, and so forth and so on. Everybody wants their children to excel. Right now, if you are really concerned about China, about being able to compete against China, then you got to put some more emphasis on education. And that's not the direction Ron DeSantis's folks are taking us, or all these book bans. Let me tell you something about English. I remember when my three adult sons were in school, and I remember teachers saying that it was unimportant, that spelling and grammar were not important, and that they were more concerned that the students focus on the content of the stuff they're reading. So the reading comprehension. I don't know why for reading comprehension you have to throw spelling and grammar out the window. Why? Why? Because your brain can't fit all that information? Come on now. It's a bad trend to dumb down our students. I think it's important to keep the bar raised, because that's what China is doing. They're making sure their bar is raised, that their children can not only succeed but excel in this global workplace. And that's what the world is. Like it or not, you're against globalism, then you can stay hidden in your little corner of the world, in your little tiny town or whatever, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with tiny towns, but this is a world that is increasingly becoming global, and to stick your head in the sand just because you don't like it, because you're xenophobic or whatever, it's short-sighted. It's foolish. And yeah, Michelle says, it really is a bad trend. You can't read for comprehension if you can't spell. Bingo! Thank you for that. The Trump Reaper says, Trump, make America stupid again. Indeed. Punxsutawney Mo, math is the language of the universe. Yes, it's universal, but human language is how we express it. Ooh, well said, my friend. Very well said. I didn't even notice that, BJ. BJ says she had to use her finger to read the script, but there was a there was a hidden dick pic of Hunter. That's funny. Very good. Let's see. Za-da-da-da-da, ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. Oh yeah. And Veronica Tello, oh yes, remove the dictionary and watch how that changes America. Yeah, these are bad ideas. So, folks, thank you once again for allowing me to bring you some more content in today's episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad, and I finished with just about 5 minutes to go. So, I got time for a couple of questions. If you have them for me, uncork them. Otherwise, speak now or forever hold thy peace. Hey, folks, it's Jetstar. Jetstar is here, folks. There we go. Let's see. Lori B says MAGAs like to keep people stupid because they are the only ones who vote for them. That is the simplest and likely the most accurate, correct answer. I believe that is it. That is why Donald Trump said, "I love the poorly educated." Yeah, because they're the only ones who will line up. And that leads right back to what I was saying about whether or not it was an act. You know, makes you wonder. Let's see. Have you heard anything about this? This is Carol Carson asking, have you heard anything about Lindsey Graham flipping on Trump in Georgia? I've been hearing that for years. Nothing. If he hasn't flipped on him by now, nothing will make him flip unless, of course, somebody has some compromising information, which I think originally, I think that's what Donald Trump presented Lindsey Graham with, because Lindsey Graham did a complete 180. At one point, he was telling Trump to go fuck himself. And then next thing you know, he is his biggest cheerleader, actually even crying on TV one time. Oh, this is a fun fact. Michelle says, did you know the groundhog is not a hog, but a squirrel? Oh, you just blew my mind with that. By the way, not a fan of squirrels. I hate squirrels. Really. Bane of my existence, man. I can't stand those jackasses. They're always throwing acorns at me. Don't get me started. The weather capital of the world, Punxsutawney, had Josh Shapiro here at the celebration. I like Josh Shapiro. I saw him live when I went down to Philly. What was it? Was it last year? No, 2 years ago. Holy shit, time is flying. I drove down to Philly for a rally that had President Biden, President Obama, and God damn it, Senator Fetterman. John Fetterman was there. Ooh, that was huge. And that was the first time I saw Josh Shapiro speak live. I think he's clearly for the future somebody to keep an eye on. And Elaine Prieto is in CA and just received her mail-in ballot. That's excellent. Congratulations. All right, you guys, 6:28, so I got just enough time to sign off with you. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. If you have not yet gotten your shot, I don't know what to tell you, but it's a good thing to do to protect yourself and your family, your loved ones, and everybody around you. So I will see you guys same time, same place. I love you all. Peace.